He built an empire worth over $1 billion. He ran it from coffee shops, apartments, and public libraries. At its peak, his platform had nearly 1 million registered users across the world. Nobody knew who he was. He called himself the Dread Pirate Roberts. And on October 1st, 2013, at 3:15 in the afternoon, the FBI walked into a public library in San Francisco and took him down in the science fiction section. Laptop open. In the science fiction section. You genuinely cannot make this up. Welcome to CyberScripted, where we pull back the curtain on the digital crimes most people don't even know exist. Today's story is the Silk Road, the most sophisticated criminal marketplace the FBI had ever seen, and the most cinematic arrest in internet history. If you're new here, subscribe, because real life is way weirder than anything Netflix could write. Ross Ulbricht was not supposed to be a criminal. He was 26 years old, physics degree, Eagle Scout, a libertarian philosophy student who believed genuinely, deeply, that governments had no right to tell people what to do with their own bodies. He wanted to build something that proved it. In 2011, he launched Silk Road. The concept was brilliant and terrifying. Use the Tor network, a system that bounces your connection through dozens of encrypted relays across the world, making your location nearly untraceable, and use Bitcoin as the currency. Anonymous, decentralized, no banks, no paper trail. On the Silk Road, you could buy heroin, cocaine, MDMA, LSD, anything, from anonymous vendors delivered to your door in ordinary packaging. Ross called himself the Dread Pirate Roberts, a reference to The Princess Bride, where the fearsome identity is passed from person to person. The name is bigger than the man. Within 2 years, Silk Road had processed over $1.2 billion in Bitcoin transactions. Ross Ulbricht was 29 years old and worth, at Bitcoin's trajectory, potentially hundreds of millions. He thought the math protected him. He was wrong. Here's what most people don't know. Ross wasn't brought down by a genius breakthrough in cryptography. He was brought down by his own carelessness. In the very early days of Silk Road, Ross had posted on a coding forum looking for a Bitcoin developer. He used a fake name, but he posted using his real personal Gmail address. He deleted it within minutes. The internet doesn't forget. Federal investigators followed that thread for 2 years. They tracked his IP address, pinging a server used to run Silk Road from a cafe just 500 feet from where he was living. A separate package of fake IDs ordered through Silk Road was intercepted at the US border, addressed to a house where Ross was renting a room. By September 2013, the FBI knew exactly who he was. They knew where he lived, they knew his routines, they even knew his favorite coffee shop. But they had one problem. Ross's laptop was fully encrypted. The moment he closed it, the drive would lock. The admin keys to Silk Road, the Bitcoin wallets, all the evidence, gone. Legally unreachable, unusable in court. They could not just arrest him at home. They needed to catch him with the laptop open, logged in, live. So they followed him every day for weeks. And on October 1st, 2013, Ross Ulbricht walked out of his apartment, tried to find a seat at Cafe Bello, and crossed the street to the Glen Park branch of the San Francisco Public Library. He walked up to the main floor. He found a seat in the science fiction section. He opened his laptop
and logged in as Dread Pirate Roberts. Within seconds, the FBI agents monitoring from outside confirmed it. The Dread Pirate Roberts, the untraceable ruler of the internet's biggest black market, was sitting in the science fiction section of a public library. The FBI sent in a team. Their plan was surgical. They needed to get the laptop out of his hands before he could slam it shut. 2 undercover agents took positions directly behind Ross at his table. On cue, they exploded into a screaming argument. A fake breakup, loud, dramatic, public. Ross turned around to look. In that exact second, a 3rd agent lunged from the side, grabbed the open laptop, and pulled it away before Ross could reach it. It took less than 3 seconds. Ross grabbed for the laptop. It was gone.
6 agents surrounded him. He was pinned against the floor-to-ceiling window. 1 agent looked around at the stunned library patrons and said, and I am not making this up, surprise. The Dread Pirate Roberts was arrested in a gray t-shirt in a public library on a Tuesday afternoon. At trial, the evidence was overwhelming. The laptop held the Silk Road admin panel, private communications with vendors, and Bitcoin wallets containing 144,000 BTC, worth $28.5 million at the time of seizure, and over $13 billion at Bitcoin's 2021 peak. In 2015, Ross Ulbricht was convicted on 7 counts: drug trafficking, money laundering, running a continuing criminal enterprise. The judge sentenced him to 2 life sentences, plus 40 years. He was 31 years old. Then, in January 2025, something no one expected happened. President Donald Trump granted Ross Ulbricht a full and unconditional pardon. After 11 years inside, Ross Ulbricht walked out of a maximum security prison in Arizona. Silk Road still doesn't exist, but the model Ross built, anonymous darknet marketplace, cryptocurrency, peer-to-peer criminal trade, does. In dozens of forms. Right now. So what do you take from this? The technology was nearly perfect. Tor, Bitcoin, encryption. It genuinely took 2 years and an almost impossible sting operation to bring him down. What broke him wasn't code. It was 1 forum post with a real email address, 1 intercepted package, and 1 moment, 1 single moment when he turned his head in a library. No encryption protects you from being human. Ross Ulbricht believed the math would save him. For almost 3 years, it did. But you can't encrypt a mistake, and you cannot unturn your head. This has been CyberScripted. The internet is a script. Don't let them write your ending.